Oh, we're live. We are live. I'm just getting the socials up in the... Well, I didn't hear anyone saying, but we're going to go live there. There we go. That's why. Apparently the mic was down there. Good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to, well, what is your very first Monday Makers of the year. I was just away to say hello to Susie there as I was opening it up. We've got Susie on the social. You're already coming in thick and fast as it is, but we'll have a look at the comments in a moment or two. As I was saying, we are here now. This has been our very first day of Crafters TV Live of 2023. We've had a really busy day already. I'm not surprised because I think many of you that you were saying have been champing at the bit waiting for us to come back live. You have enjoyed our best of shows over the last, 10, 12 days or so, but you have missed us, which has been lovely to hear. We've got a really busy week coming up. It's myself and Corrine all day today. Might be a little bit of a mix tomorrow. Sara will definitely be here as to presenter side, demonstration side when Sara's not in. That'll be up in the air because we've got a few sickness bugs going around. Ben is just feeling a little bit under the weather, quite a lot under the weather. He is starting to get a wee bit better, but we'll see how tomorrow goes. Goes the same for Charlotte. She's been really poorly, so sending love to Charlotte tomorrow. She's going to attempt to come in for at least one of the shows. However, what we have done is we managed to get the team together, and the team that are not necessarily in the gallery knowing what goes on a daily basis, but the main thing is we had two options: either come to you as pre-records, or we just go work as a team and we come in live, and that's exactly what we've done. So the team have absolutely done so many things. Between Sam, we've had Jamie, we've also had Liam and John earlier on this morning, and then we've also had Lily as well. So between all of us, we've managed to come back live for our very first live show of the day. But as I did say, we have got myself, and we've got the one, the only. She's back again for Monday Makers. It's Corrine. How are you doing?
Yeah, you don't get rid of me that easily.
Not we don't want
sticking around
rid
for
of you.
the last one of the day. Thank you, Lily. She said we tried. I know, she's only teasing. No, so yeah, absolutely great. We're going to have a look at some bits when you've introduced them. I'll show you some lovely finished samples.
Excellent. Sounds good to me. So yes, what we'd say as well, Monday Makers. So this is your last live show. You've still got up to midnight later on tonight to have a look at our winter sale. So we've got up to 70% off across on our website. Now, what you do need to do is once you're across there, you're just going to see the banner. It's a big banner. It says winter sale up to 70% off. Click on there and you're going to find what we have got left in stock. We've still got quite a lot, but numbers are dwindling very quickly. So as I say, up to midnight your time. Have a look at the Christmas clearance. I say Christmas loosely because it's not all just Christmas. You've got Hunky Dory, you've got Tonic, you've got Creative Expressions, you've got the one, the only, the master when it comes to distress inks. That is, of course, Tim Holt. And a whole array of items across are there on our website. And as always, it doesn't matter whether it's us, Tonic, Hunky Dory, Creative Expressions, Cartload, Craft Vault, Warehouse Clearance, whatever it is, you've still got your Club Inspire on top of everything. So keep that in mind as well. So let's just say good evening to Carol. Is in from Dublin, Ireland, saying good evening and Happy New Year to everyone from Dublin, Ireland. Well, good evening to you. Sara saying Happy New Year 2023. Janet saying hello, Craig and Corrine from Michigan. Stephen Nicole is saying good evening, everyone at Crafters Companion. Jill is saying hi from North Yorkshire. Happy New Year, everyone. Well, Happy New Year to you. We've got Beth and Lina saying good evening, Craig, Corrine, CCTV crew and Crafty family. Good evening to you. And Mo, number 2, is saying Happy New Year. Thank you to everyone who's made live shows today possible. Yes, it is a big thank you. Big thank you to all of the team. Just briefly as well, in case you're wondering, no, I'm not wearing blue. Me and Corrine were talking just before we went live. My t-shirt today for you may look like ocean blue. It's actually parakeet.
Yeah, we were discussing, we were comparing it by ink pads.
We were
working it out by ink pads.
Yeah, because your top isn't as kind of evergreen as it actually is.
No, I'm not in this darker green.
No.
It looks dark green on the screen, but it's more of a grassy green.
It does, yeah. And on screen, because I can see it in front of me, I do look blue, ocean blue, but it's not. It's actually a parakeet. So, funny enough, because a lot of people, not a lot, there was a few yet in the earlier show, loving your blue top, Craig. And then we just happened to get onto that conversation,
yeah, we did.
Didn't we?
That was funny how we compared it to ink pads.
We did. That's the first thing. I know many of you do that as well. You kind of reference them to maybe ink pads or pens, and that is the case when it comes to this top. Rightio. Now, something that I love. You know I love my nesting dies. You know I love my matting and layering dies. Well, we have got our nesting frame dies. This is a collection of 18 dies. Now, what you've got within each one is you do have 6 kind of like die sets. So you've got a few different options we'll show you. I say options, they are all in this one set. You are going to be getting them all. Today's price for everything that I'm showing you is £58 or $68. Remember I talked about our Club Inspire. We will have a look at that later on in the show. But if you're a platinum price, it comes to £46.40 or $54.40. Or if you are new to Club Inspire, you've just joined and this is your first order, you get 20% off. So then that means this could be your first price. What you've got for it all is our rectangles. So this is our stitched edge rectangles. These are 3 dies that you've got here. So you do have your larger, you've got your mid, and then you've got your small one. So your outer die cuts out, but so does the inner. So this is where you've got that framework. You've got the stitch detail that runs all the way around. Always harder to see on the black card, but just think of your little cross stitch embossed detail. That runs all the way around, the large, the medium, and the small. So you've got that in your rectangles, you've also got it in your squares as well. So you've got, once again, your large, you've got your small, and you've even got your medium. So really good, yes, for your mats and layers if you want to, or you can use them as little photo frames. What I was saying, Corrine, beforehand is Kelly that works next door in the office, who's actually sadly leaving us in a week or two, she does cross-stitching.
Oh, does she?
So if you want to do your own card fronts or that with your cross-stitching, really good to be using these
little holes to do those, wouldn't it?
Really, yeah, fab ones. But you've got, Rose, remember you're getting everything I'm showing you. You've got ditzy rectangle, so same concept, but you've got this little ditzy die cut design that runs all the way throughout. So you can leave them as they are. Maybe you want to do a little bit of stitched work, that's up to you, but you've got your 3 die sets. Same with your squares. So they go up to 5 by 5, but you've got your large, you've got your medium, you've got your small. Don't forget as well, when it comes to the really smaller inners, they also cut out. These are going to be great, certainly with your rectangles. These are really good for maybe stamping your sentiments on.
Exactly.
It's like a perfect little rectangle size for you to do that. And then what you've also got is you've got your scalloped rectangles. So they do exactly as they are titled. They are rectangles and you've got the scallop. The scallop is on the outside, not on the inside, but if you layer them on top of each other, great, separately, perfect, but really good for framing maybe your photos or sentiments. You've got your rectangles and also got your scallop squares once again. So all of that, £58 or $68. If you buy them within the bundle, you're actually going to be saving £18.44 or $20.95 compared to buying them at individual prices. They are available individually if you do want to get your hands on them. They are across on the website. I'll let you have a look at them yourself on our shop the day. But if you go there, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.au, that is exactly where you're going to find them. You're going to find how you can be using them in many different ways, such as ways in which Corrine's away to show us right now.
Yes, now I'm going to show you these. So these, remember you were saying about those little ditzy elements. Yes, you could stitch behind those, but how about just putting some card behind so that the card shows through there. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And we've just put some little gems in between each one. So that looks absolutely beautiful. But you've got your square, which obviously then becomes a diamond if you just twist it. And then the small one makes a lovely little stopper. Oh, let me come that way a little bit. There we go. Lovely little stopper on that. So that's the square in the ditzy. The square in the scalloped. Now, I don't think you could see this on the board. Let me move over that way. Is that you've also got a faux stitching as well. So not only have you got the scallop, but you have the faux stitch. And look, you can see on here, so you've got the large, the medium and the small. And don't they look lovely when you nest them on the sort of, on the angle on there. And again, we've got it as an easel. I've got the ditzy as the rectangle, so you can see on there. But there you go, look. 2 portrait and 1 landscape really works so well. And I know I've already shown you some of these, but I had to show you this one again. Look at that, completely. Let me see where that is. So that die and that one are the same die. Don't they look different? Just
so
by
different.
putting them together, different colourways, putting them together, getting a different effect. I think they look absolutely gorgeous. I've got the square, the cross-stitch one. Again,
See,
lots of inking. Yeah. And then the scalloped edge in the rectangle. And again, another little look. And you can see, even if you can't see it on here, you can see in there where the faux stitching comes in. So absolutely beautiful. And then now I'm going to mix these on my first demo with our shakers. Okay. And you think, oh, how's that going to work? But I'm going to show you how the shakers work. So you have the butterfly, you have the flower, you have the little jam jar, and you have the perfume bottle. Have I missed any out? I think that was right. So we're going to mix those two together.
Fab. Sounds good to me. Rightio, so we've got Mo number 2 on YouTube. It's saying, I've been crafting up a storm today. Why didn't any of you smart, experienced crafters tell me that CC Beautiful Papers can do all of the work of making a great card? I think we've told you that on many of occasions, and we've shown you that as well, but it's good for us to know that you've seen that yourself by churning out 78 cards from just a couple of pieces of pattern paper. I think they look great. You're going to find that with all of our pattern papers. Certainly over, I would say, the last 11, 12 months since Faye's come on board in product development, and she focuses a lot on our paper pads. So that's a prime example of how you can make fabulous cards. Mary Pat 100 is saying, Happy New Year, everyone, from sunny Montana. Well, Happy New Year to you too. Betty is saying hello from Idaho. Rosalind saying hello from Maryland, everyone. And Evelyn is saying hello again from a snowy Colorado. Well, no snow here. It's for me anyway, it's kind of heated up a bit in the studio, hence why my fleece has come off. But yeah, let us know in the comments, what have you been crafting away today? I know here in the UK, many people are still off on holiday. All work seems to resume back from tomorrow. At the moment, it's all quiet on this side of the studio because the office themselves, they don't start back till tomorrow. So maybe you have been crafting away today, or maybe you've been doing specific crafting projects over the holidays. Let us know as well. It is Susie that is on the socials for Monday Makers, so get them across. But in the meantime, we can go back to Corrine, where we're going to have a look at our nest frame dies.
We certainly are. So I'm going to use the cross-stitch rectangle frame for my first one. So I've got that onto my board. Now, this piece here cuts out of your cardstock. So to make things a little bit easier, all I'm going to do is I'm going to use get the name right, the Cheers to You, and I'm going to cut it out of that waist at the same time. Now that cuts out the full one, so if we want to make it into a shaker, I'm just going to put in the aperture. And I'm doing it this way because my magnetic sheet is going to hold everything nice and tight for me. Then I've got some cardstock, which is from one of the collections that we've got on today, and when I've prepped all these, I haven't written down which one that was, and I can't remember.
Maybe a butterfly one?
Yeah, I had them all out, and usually I write everything down, and I can't see my piece of paper that I've written everything on.
Is it one of these?
Yes, it's the vintage butterfly. Definitely, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. As soon as I saw it, I knew I'd recognise it.
We'll have a look at that just later on. Once Corrine's done her demonstration, we'll look at that paper bundle.
So what I've got here now, look at that gorgeous frame. Look at the stitching all the way down there. And then it's cut me out the lovely jar as well. I don't need this piece for now. I can use that to cut bits out later. Now, what I've done here is I've then popped it onto some gold. Now, this gold is from our vintage snowman collection. So we've got a mixed cardstock. So I've just popped it on there, and then all I've done is I've just gone round with a sharp blade, and I've just trimmed that away in there just to give me the aperture.
Perfect.
Now, I've cut like I say, I've cut my little jam jar out of there, but what I've also done, so I've done a few bits before I got here, is I've taken some paper, and you'll see this is just one of our Christmas. This is Frosty and Bright, if I remember rightly. Yeah. So cut that from there, and all I've done is I've cut the jam jar into the centre of there to create an aperture. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to piece that one back in. Okay. You see, so we take one out and we put one in, and our shaker's going to go in the middle. So I just thought we'd mix up the colours a little bit. So I've got some lovely blue, And then I've popped on my pattern paper, and then I'm going to pop my frame on. So slightly different colours to what you think. But at the moment, you're thinking, there's no synergy there between all my colours. It looks a little bit random, but I promise you, once we've finished and we've brought all of the elements together...
I have all faith in you,
Oh, thank
Corrine.
you. That's very kind of you. But it will come right when we've finished. So the next thing I want to do is I want to get... Let me get some white stamping card. I thought I had a little piece here. Let me get a piece here. So I've got some white stamping card. And from this Cheers to You, we've got some amazing elements here. And I've got the drinking straw. Oh, come on. That doesn't want to peel off. There we go. I've got the drinking straw. And I've got these lovely ice cubes as well. So I'm going to pop them on there. Then I'm going to pick them up.
Many ice cubes being consumed over the last couple of weeks?
Actually, no, because I was drinking red wine and I don't tend to have...
You don't want that.
I don't want ice cubes in my red wine, no.
No, definitely not.
The only time I drink red wine chilled is when it's somewhere really, really hot. But other than that, I like my red wine just room temperature.
Yeah.
There we go. So we can then just stamp that on there. There we go. So that's stamped those. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to get... I forgot to get my pen. Let me get a pen. And then I'm just going to do some nice blue just through there, just like that, all the way down. I do alternate colours. Okay. Now, it might be too young for you, but do you remember we used to have a TV programme, and it used to be something like, look out, there's a Humphrey about. Do you remember that one?
Vaguely.
Do you remember that one? Yeah. This is what I always remember when and I'm sure it was red and white drinking straws.
Yeah.
And it was some sort of creature that used to pinch the milk, didn't it?
It's the milk, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You say it might be too... I'm 38 this year.
Oh, you old thing.
Yeah, I am old.
Yeah, you actually get past 50, love.
I can't get off the couch now, without the car, without going, oh!
So you could then just add a little bit of shading as well, just to give the impression of it being round, just like that. You don't have to do anything complicated, but then just bring that shading across like that.
You know what that could be as well? You know the biscuit tubes you get in ice creams?
Yes, the wafers. The wafers,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be that, coloured it with a little bit of brown or something like that. Could be one of those.
Really?
Could be making a Coke float. You know, and just have a little... OK, I know it probably goes soggy, but do you know what I mean? It could be used as that.
I wanted a really pale blue, and I can't see a really pale blue, so this one will have to... And then the other thing what you can do... Let me... Oh, no, that's far too bright. Is that what I've been using? I wanted true blue one, but I can't see a true blue one. Isn't it typical that when you want a colour, every colour but the one that you want...
It could also be a candy cane without the actual hook at the top. It could be a Barber's.
Yeah.
Could be Barber's. Going for the mail card.
So you could just put a few little bits of colour on there, just to give the ice cubes a bit of shape and definition. And all I've done here is I've then just cut those out, just freehand cut them out, just really simple. And then the other thing I've done is I've cut this out. Now, I'll show you what I've done here, is I got my jar, I turned it round and I put some foam tape where that sits. So I know that's going to be hidden. And I put it on a side. Now, we were talking about this before Christmas, weren't we? I now tend to always do my acetate. When I'm doing shakers, I always do double acetate. Acetate on the top and acetate on the bottom. Because I find that the elements, when they're moving, move a lot better because they're moving against acetate rather than against paper. Works really best. So what I've done here is I've just put a tiny little slit in this card, just there, look, in the acetate rather, you can see, look, just a little slit. And I've popped the straw through there so that the foam sits on top of that. And that is going to go. So if we then get a little bit of tacky glue and acetate fit really, really well together.
And that's the thing, you know, some people don't realise that. Yeah, it just needs a bit of time to dry, but it does work on your acetate.
Oh, I created a board when I first got here. Created a board of all the things that I could cut with glue, with tacky glue.
Right.
And I've got wooden embellishments, glass embellishments, plastic, all onto a piece of mount board.
Okay.
And it just sticks, everything sticks. So all I've done now is I've just popped that one onto there. But look at this now, we're pulling those colours together. And remember we had the glitter, I also cut the jam jar out of the glitter and then just cut off the top bit so that we can put that on there. So what we want to do now is I want to bring this onto here and I'm going to pop the acetate behind, but I'm going to capture that little straw.
Okay.
So there you go. You can see that starting to come together. So all I need to do then is put a little bit of wet glue, like I said, round here. You just need to give it time to dry, but it will dry brilliantly and it'll hold really well. This will be the best glue to adhere your acetate. Obviously you can use your red liner, but you don't have any wiggle room.
Well, that's the thing you need to take into account, don't you?
So if you need to dry, and remember, the best way is once it starts to dry, it goes a bit tacky, then it's going to stick best. So we're going to pop this. So at the moment, I've not glued anything down onto my card base as such, because I want to just create this shaker element. There we go. Really looks three-dimensional, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now, what I thought was, this is going to go onto here, and I thought, no, didn't really like the blue behind. Works, but what I thought would look nice, you remember this one that we cut out?
Yeah.
How about putting that one?
Oh,
yeah. Just looks better, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it?
Just makes it pop. So we can pop that on there. So I'm going to go with the bigger jar of glue because I'm just not getting it out of that little one. I think it's just...
I think just with nothing being used for like near 2 weeks, I think it's just kind of settled and not having any of it. Although we've had studio heat in here, we've not had the heat from the lights and that, so I think that's affected some of our adhesives.
It'll come back. Right, so let me put that there and then I can work out where I want that to go. So I'm just using the top as a guide, just to make sure that's in the right place, because obviously it's only quite small, so I want to make sure it doesn't come off. So we can then take out our foam tape. So I've got the same foam tape around there as I've got in the back of the shaker, and that means then that everything is going to fit perfectly.
Yeah, same depth, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a good way to have the appearance of your card front being level, whereas in actual fact it's raised. You know, usually with a shaker you're used to, for instance, the jar of hearts being higher up in the middle of your card.
Exactly.
But it's all on one level, but it's still giving you that effect that it's all completely flat, whereas technically the whole lot's been risen.
Exactly. Right, now I had a couple of ice cubes there and I can only see one, so what I'm going to do is... Oh, they're there, look. No, that's not coming out. So what we can do is we can have the ice cubes coming out of the jam jar. So we can pop a couple like that. And if we wanted to, I'm not going to stick that one down, but I might have one just falling out just there. So that is my basic little jar. I've got a little bow which we can put on in a minute, but can you see now the colours are starting to come together? We've got the blue in here and we've got the blue in there, and so you think at first the pink. Oh, tell you what I haven't done is I haven't put my frame on. I haven't put the frame on. Nearly forgot that. Right, because I've got something else to put on as well in a minute, because we need a sentiment. So we're going to do the sentiment. Nearly forgot the frame. There we go. That just brings everything together. There we are. Oops, that's not even stuck down. There we go. I do that, you know, so many demos, I finish the demo and then it goes back to the presenter and then I look on the table and there's a key part.
There's something that you forgot to pop on,
Right, so that's starting to come together nicely, but I thought we would do a sentiment. So we've got our just to say, and I love these. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sentiment, I'm going to cut that out. Oop, there we go. And I think we could do that in our small die cutting machine. in our mini. Why ever not? So pop that. So if you have got your mini, you know these are going to go straight through. And my mini sits on top of my Gemini, so it's there all the time for me to use it. Now, if you are accurate, then, yep, use your rocker block for this. But it does get quite difficult because we've now got to line that up perfectly. So for these, I would definitely say if you've got one, every time it's a stamping platform that's the best thing to do. Now, you can do this a couple of ways. You can put a piece of card on, just like that, because you can't use the magnets on here because the word is the same size as your stamp, which is there, right in front of me, right in front of me. So there's nowhere I can put, if I put the stamp on top of here, there's nowhere to put the magnets. So all I would do is I would get a couple of little bits of dotty tape, and like I say, you can do this straight onto your stamping platform, but I know some people don't like to put the adhesive onto a stamping platform, so I'm basically holding it in place with the magnets on the card, and then I've just stuck it to there. So we can then line that up. There we go, that lines up to there, and then lift that one up. Now, I'm just going to use my quick dry inks, but you can use whichever one you want. I'm going to do some more of these, and I'm going to use the opaque pigment inks with these, and we're going to heat emboss them. But just for this one, we're just going to do this one with a quick dry ink, and then we can pop that on here. You can do ombres, you can do all sorts of different effects, and look at that. So you can see if I lift that up, how perfect is that one.
Perfect, isn't it?
And then the other thing I've done is I've cut the blue out again and just created a drop shadow. So that's going to be the last little bit that we need to add on to here. So I've already cut out and matte and layered the to say. So we can then work out where we want everything to go. So we could put, let's work out where we want these. That's why I didn't stick this one down, but it's tried to stick itself. So we could do, I don't know where to go with that. I think that one works just like that.
Say, yeah, it works well, the positioning, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? So let's put a little piece of foam behind the just. That's going to pop on there. Again, a little bit more dimension. And so we can pop that one, take the back off there. There we are. And that's going to go just there. Then my sentiment, finish off my sentiment. There we go, just to say, and then the final little bit is a little bit of that. That's going to go on there. And then the final one I had was I had an ice cube left. There we are. Let's pop that behind there. There we go. We can, no, it's not coming out of that one. I keep going back to it, keep thinking I can resolve it. So let's have an ice cube coming out of there. And how about that? That's all, lots of the elements we've got today. So we've got the shaker, we've got the just to say, so the sentiments, and also the frames as well. But I just want to show you how, when you get these things, there we go, oh, there we are, that way, everything just works together so well.
It really, really does. It's lovely to see, as you say, how you can just tie them all together. A few of the items that you'll have seen Corrine had been used and popped up on the bottom of the screen. We'll have a look at these detailed throughout the show. They are across on Shop the Day, so you'll find them across on the website as well. Featured them in Wake Up Call. As I say, we will have a look, but it's nice just to see how Corrine uses them all together. So that was our Nest and Frame die collection, where you're getting 18 dies in total. You're getting a variety of rectangles and squares. So today you're going to be £58 or $68. If you are a platinum, however, that's going to come down to £46.40 or $54.40 for your platinum for you guys stateside. So you've got your cross-stitched rectangle. Remember, within each set you're getting 3 dies, a large, a medium and a small. That goes for your square as well. So around all the edges you've got that, it's more of a deboss effect that you've got from the cross-stitch. The outer and the inner, that cuts out, giving you your actual framework. You've then also got your Ditzy floral. So that one there is with your rectangle, and then once again with your square. The rectangle's the largest 5 by 7, your squares are 5x5 with the largest one, going down in increments. We've then got, once again, our scallop rectangles. Nothing stopping you from mixing and matching. Maybe use the largest one of your scallop and then maybe the smallest one of the cross stitch. That's up to you. Or use them in the ways that Corrine showed you with the finished samples. And then once again, you do have, of course, your squares within the scallops. So whichever way you want to use them, you can, of course, be using them in the many different ways, whether it is going to be with your soft craft, certainly with cross stitching, and your cross stitch edge. The nest and die frame ones, you can be using that one. Of course, lot of love, lot of love for that one there that Corrine was just using and making. We've got Anne on Facebook saying, I stamped the ice cubes on acetate, looks very realistic. That's a really good idea, doing that onto your acetate. Laurie Barnett is saying, hello everyone, glad to be back on air. Whoop whoop, Happy New Year from Gilbert, Arizona. Happy New Year to you too. Susie is saying, red wine ice cube leftovers. Now, I've heard of this before, Susie.
Oh, I've heard of this, yes.
Yeah, if there is any leftover wine, rarely, lol, that's coming from Susie, they are good for sangria, or I've used them in my spaghetti sauce.
That's what I was just thinking, yes, that's a really good way, because often it'll say put a little bit of wine in a sauce. What a good way to do it.
It's a really good way, isn't it? Because apparently it does freeze very, very well. That's if there's any wine left over, of course. Maureen on Facebook is saying, I'm just enjoying a nice glass of red wine. Cheers. Still in the festive season, I'd say anyway, up till midnight tonight. Although you know what I'm like, as soon as Boxing Day hits, no Christmas films, no songs, no nothing.
Oh, don't you?
No.
Are you totally off?
Totally off. Well, why watch or listen to something that gets me excited for something that's not going to happen for another 360 odd years?
Days.
Years. Yeah, definitely won't be alive by then. But days. So yeah, I'm quite pernickety when it comes to that.
It's fine.
Yeah, Boxing Day, that's it. Yep, heart radio, Christmas goes off. We've got Astrid saying such a beautiful card. Rosalind saying that's adorable, Corrine. We've got Jessica saying fun card. Deborah saying love that card, Corrine. Carletta saying lovely card. Panda Crafts is saying hello everyone. Hope you all had a lovely Christmas and New Year. We all did. Well, a lot of us, some of us have gone down with the bug or the flu or the cold that's going around, certainly here. But in general, yes, we all did, thank you. And when we say some of us, that wasn't me. I've escaped it so far. Michelle is saying hello from Pencil. No, it's not. Is it Philadelphia, PA? Oh, now that stumped me. Now, usually I'm good with that one, but I think after having nearly 2 weeks off, Pennsylvania, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Yeah, I'm sure Michelle or Susie will let us know just in a moment or two. But it's so lovely to have your company when it comes to this Monday afternoon for you guys stateside. Right, we're going to have a look now at our Monday mega deal. This is all about our shaker dies cards. Corrine just touched upon them a moment ago. So what you've got within this full set that I'm away to show you, one of them, Born to Bloom, you can only get that from us. Now what I mean by that is for you guys stateside or out of the UK, you'll have not been able to get your hands on it apart from via us. And we'll show you that one right now. And these are all featuring your incredible price, which is 50% off. It's just over 50% off when it comes to the Shape Shaker card dies. So all of this that I'm showing you is, of course, what is our Monday mega deal. Now, I said it's just over 50% off, but what it also includes as well is these ones, which you're going to get for free. But as it is, the whole bundle, you're going to be your Cheers to You. So that's the one Corrine used a moment ago to take that jar, make it into a shaker. These little dies here, these you could be using as little die cut embellishments if you want to, but these are intended for you to make your own little shaker pieces. So any cardstock that you've got, you can start to create your own. You do have stamps to go with them and your embellishment stamps that Corrine showed you as well. So you've got Cheers to You. You've also got your perfume. So same concept, you've got your outer dye, you've also got your inner dye, which is creating that aperture for you to then come along, sandwich with some acetate, pop your own choice of shaker in there. You can colour theme it for whoever the recipient is going to. If there's a specific smell that has a specific colour on their brand, then of course you can match that for their likes, but that one is your perfume. You've also got your Hello Beautiful. Once again, same concept. What's lovely with these, certainly with the butterflies, is because each side of the wings are two separate apertures. If you wanted to put a piece of your foam on a roll down the centre, have one colour of sequins on one side and have another on the other and keep them separate, you can absolutely do that, or it could just be one full, free, flowing movement of sequins or die-cut acetate, sequins, whatever you want. You can do it, but you've got all your little sentiments here with the banner as well. And then last but by no means least, and this is the one that you can only get via us, and that is our Born to Bloom. So when we had this set on HSN when it first launched, you wouldn't have been able to get your hands on this one apart from coming direct to us. And this one, similar to what I was on about with the butterflies, you can section off all these different petals. So if you wanted different shaker colours, you can absolutely do that. But a lovely full floral front that you can be using. Use them in the course in with card blanks if you want, because remember, you've got this full outline die all the way around here, so that could be used as your actual card blank, maybe create an easel, twisted easel, and then pop your shaker on the top. That's the dies. We've then got our printable acetate. Now, if you're not keen on using it to print onto, you can use your alcohol colours onto it. It's got a slight texture to it, which grabs your alcohol ink. You've got a full pack of your Solar Gold Centura Pearl cardstock. So 310 GSM, you've got your 10 sheets in there. So that's going to be lovely to die cut through or use that as a stash builder. You're also going to be getting your full reel of your red liner tape. So this one here is your 6mm one, and it's also 10 metres in length. So that will last you a long time. Maybe you love your construction, but you don't want your wet glue, not a problem, that will do the job. And then you're also getting, which also, as I said, works out for free, is your 50 grams of your sequins here. Now this one here is your coral blush, that you're getting that full pack. So all of that just over half price, £35 or $50. If you are, of course, platinum price, that comes down to £28, or for you guys stateside, it comes down to $40. All across on the website, all across on Shop the Day. It's all there for you guys as well, Central Europe. You just need to go onto your website, which is one of three, crafterscompanion.co.uk for here in the UK.com for you guys stateside, and .eu for all of you in Central Europe. Have a little peruse, have a look at Shop the Sale as well for that winter sale, 70% off, up to 70% off, ends midnight tonight. Have a look at clearance sections, etc., etc., etc. That was me on a Hogmanay. Here's Club Inspire.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the Crafters Companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
What makes Crafters TV so special is you guys.
It's really special because the experts are really experts. They're really skilled at what they do, and they want to make sure that the audience also improves on their skills.
Crafters TV is so special because you've got together a really sort of key group of people and people that are very passionate about the product.
Crafters TV is so special because it's a unique community that we have with each other where we can learn and grow and communicate with each other.
Community, the family spirit, the education, everything to do with craft. We are all like-minded people who share a passion.
I love all the inspiration the demonstrators bring and all the knowledge for us out here.
What makes Crafters TV so special? 100% it's the interaction. No other crafting TV channel or show has the same interaction.
I love the community, I love chatting live, I think that's the best part. And it's gone beyond crafting because we've become friends.
Feels to me to be a really, really close relationship with our customers and viewers.
You guys make us feel like we're part of your family. I've never been on the show before, but one of my friends who I did meet from CCTV encouraged me, and I was on the craft along.
A massive team of people, and I think they've all got their role to play, and it just brings everything together. It allows us to do our job and just love it.
The people, obviously, the people not just here at Crafts Companion, but the viewers that watch us. I mean, everybody. We have this real magical essence about it.
Bye for now. Bye.
And we're...
What makes Crafters TV so special is you guys.
Steal my thunder, Michelle, why don't you? Ben earlier on, now you. Gosh, looking forward to seeing you too, Michelle, but that's not this week anyway. I think it's going to be another week or two before I see Michelle. But what I was away to say, I'm not going to say rudely interrupted, because I'm never rudely interrupted by Michelle, but I was away to say we are all looking forward to seeing what's ahead here on Crafters TV in 2023, that's for sure. We're kind of easing you in today, because let me tell you, she's back tomorrow, and boy, she's back with a bang. I'm cautiously saying she's back tomorrow with Ben. Ben might be in, Ben might be not in. We're going to see how it plays out with Ben. He was feeling a little bit better this morning, and then as the days got on, he's feeling a bit poorly again. So going to see how he goes. But I know that's not just us here at Crafters Companion. I know there's so many people, you know, not just even here in the UK. It really seems to be hitting everyone, isn't it, at the moment, that funny bug that's going about. So yes, Sara will be in. She will definitely be in, and it'll either be myself or Ben on this side. So who knows? You'll find out tomorrow when you tune in. But yeah, we are looking forward to a really fun year. Kick-starting tomorrow with Sara. You're going to have Sara, you're going to have, if it goes to plan, you're going to have Sara and Ben for the first show. Middle show will be myself and Ben, and then the last show will be Ben and Sara. If it doesn't go to plan, you'll have me and Sara, then you'll have me and Lily, and then you'll have me and Sara.
There you go.
We'll find out. We'll find out. Right, let's have a look at, funny enough, talking about Sara, Through the Looking Glass. This is giving you 205 elements. Now, $49.99 or $59.95. Great price for everything I'm away to show you. However, if you're platinum, it's going to come down to $39.99 or $47.96. And if that's not enough, we're also going to give you 100 extra bonus points as well for your Club Inspire. So that's a nice little extra on top of that really good price. And I say it's really good price because we have got a box that is jam-packed full with lots of references to Through the Looking Glass. We've got stamps, we've got dies, we've got embellishments. I'm going to go through them all before we jump across to Corrine. We've got this lovely little stamp that says, "This is my dream." Now, it actually says, if I go that way there, "This is my dream. I'll decide where I go from here." Of course, from Alice in Wonderland. Now, it is a separate stamp, but it is going to work in with the other stamps I'll show you just shortly. What we have also got is 10 grams of our mirror. It's kind of like a mirror shine. It is your sequins, of course. That one there is your bright reds, and it is 10 grams, but it's a lovely jam-packed bag, which many of us have realised once the packet has opened up in our box, and we've actually seen how many sequins there is. You've also got your 100 gems as well. You've got your 3 colours there, well 4. You've got your clear, black, blue, and also your red. You've then got your 10, no you don't, your 8 metal charoms here. So you have got 4 designs and you've got 2 of each. So again, all referring to that theme of Through the Looking Glass. You've got that hand mirror, you've got the little teapot as well, you've got the little key, and then you've also got the rabbit too. We've then got our ribbon. So we've got our 9 reels of our satin ribbon. So you've got your 3 colours, and then in each you've got 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch, and 3/4 of an inch within each of those colours that you've got there. You've also got all of your stencils. So we have got our It's Always Tea Time. Now you can then be masking sections off if you want, or these are going to be really good for a card front as a whole. Could be your reactive inks, it could be your pigment ink pads. You could go in with maybe things such as your glitter paste if you've got them, anything from Creative Expressions, anything like that. You can start to use that in with your stencils. Sticking with the stencils, we've got the one that was definitely made for all of us here. We are all mad here. And this is another one you might want to cherry pick sections. Maybe you just want the actual sentiment in the middle there. That's up to you. Mix and match, doing ombre, going with your shimmer ink pads. But the actual uses of these are really, really cool. We've then got Alice in Wonderland. Now, okay, I know this is the 3rd time I'm away to say it. You could section bits off. This one you really could do it with ease. Maybe just have Alice down at the bottom on the ground. Maybe just have one of the tree in the foliage. Maybe have this smaller one that's coming out just at the side there. So you've got a lot of play within this one stencil. All of these are 4x6. And then we've also got our sentiment and patterns here. So this is giving you a multitude of options and sentiments that you could be inking up. So you've got Drink Me, We're All Mad here. You've got Eat Me, and then you've got all your pattern designs as well. So maybe you want to come in and start to get creative, like you'll have seen Mark in Creative Expressions, Mark in Visible Image with Creative Expression mediums. You could be mixing and matching them if you want to. But we've then got our teapot template. So we've done really beautiful finish samples in the past from the team using this one. Corrine done another one earlier on, which was demo of the show on Wake Up Call. So we'll see that again just shortly, using it in a slightly different way. That's included. We've also got our 13 acrylic stamps. So that theme that runs throughout, you can even see just from this one board here of our coloured samples, where you've got that red, you've got that white, you've got that blue theme running all the way out. Same with your ribbons and your gems. But at least with this one, go in with your drawing gum, go in with your masking sheet, start to mask bits off, start to build up your scenes. You can do that, you can have fun. But this is a really good one to get creative with, in conjunction with your dies. Now, all of these dies, just minus that frame one, will all go through your Gemini Mini. Of course, that frame will go through your MIDI and larger, but you've got your pocket watch. The pocket watch here, so this one will work, and it's the only one that will work with the stamp that we showed you before. All the other ones are kind of standalone silhouette-esque sort of dies, but you can have a really good fun when it comes to that silhouette style, or of course use your colour cardstock if you want. Talking about colour card, we've then got our 8x8. Now look at our block colours. Once again, if any palette shows off this collection just perfectly, it's this one. We've got our 3 tones of blues, well 4 if you include the navy. We've got a red, we've got kind of like that light sandstorm down at the bottom there. Multiple sheets of each. All of these are a matte cardstock. And then talking about matte, look at these beautiful pattern papers. Once again, 8x8 matte cardstock, uncoated. You've got a couple of sheets of each, all double-sided. So you've got that full detail all about through that looking glass. You've got the teacups, you've got the plain cards, you've got the swirls, you've got the bunting, you've got the florals all the way through. But then if we look at this part of the design way into the background, that is what's been pulled through on the opposite side. So you've still got that colour, you've still got that distress effect, but less of the pattern. And that's what happens when it comes to all of your other patterns. You've got that full block of your pattern on one side and that more subtle toned down effect on the opposite side. We're going in with the hearts or teacups. You're then going in with the eat me, the drink me. If you love your florals as well as that through the looking glass, this is a perfect one because you've got florals all the way around. If again, you love that distressed effect, if you love that distressed text effect in the background, you're not confident in doing it, you're not keen on doing it, this is done for you. You can still go on, you could add sparkle, you could add pastes on here, you can rip it, you can tear it, you can spritz onto it, you can ink onto it, you can still do all of these different techniques that you know and love. Just because it's already patterned and distressed for you doesn't mean you can't add to it. So that is your 8x8 pattern paper where you're getting a couple of sheets of each as well. So all of that is contained within your Through the Looking Glass box. So if you are a collector of Sara's signature box collections, you know that it's going to sit beautifully side by side. All of her other ones, $49.99 or $59.95. That is for the box, of course, and all of the contents. If you are platinum, it comes down to $39.99 or $47.96 with your 100 extra bonus points. Keep the comments, any questions, fire them across, and then we will head across to Corrine right now and see what we're going to do with this.
Okay, I thought I'd quickly show you a few samples first before we get going. And I wanted to show you this one because I wanted to show you that it doesn't, we're going that way, our close is on a different place. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. That one to me almost looks, I always think of a misty morning, doesn't it? You know, the light coming through, just the mist. I love that. The papers, as Craig said, distress those papers with our paper distresser. You know, a little bit of black with some gilding wax. Perfect. You've also got a different take on the shaker with the little teapots on there and the cups. Now, this is the same stencil, but stenciled a completely different way. So it comes out with a completely different look, which I love. You know, with the a heat emboss onto the key and the lock. We've got the little pocket watch down there. And then another one that is really quite simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. So you've got the papers, mats and layers. Now this is what these boxes do so well, is colour match perfectly. Yeah. So we've distressed and blended around the edges, and then sentiment in the, you know, in the middle. And I love these little charms. We were saying before Christmas there should be, you should be able to make a charm bracelet. And then when you all meet up, you flash your charm bracelet to say, well, I've got this box, I've got this box, yes. Because I was just off looking for some of the charms that go with vintage butterfly. Couldn't find mine when I was looking for them yesterday. No, Jake's found me some. But look at that. Look at the story. Look at how much volume is on there. It's all about that perspective. And then look at that, another shaker through there. But I couldn't finish without not showing you these two. Quickly show you the lovely top hat that's been created, and then another one using that stencil. This is using the stencil the way to make the little box, unlike the one I did this morning, which was a slight take on that. So lots of different ways to use these projects. Now I'm going to do something, again, a little bit different. And what we're going to do is I've got a piece of watercolour card on here, and I've got 3 ink pads, 3 quite diverse ink pads. I don't know if these are 3 that you would normally put together, but I've got pale pig, I've got ocean blue, and I've got Chinese red. So I just thought we'd go a little bit different on these. And let's put, so these are all my water reactive. So by the time I've finished, I will have used a water reactive ink pad, I'll have used quick dry ink pads, and I will have used waterproof ink pads. Right. So just to show you that you can mix and match. And this all sort of links to the mixed media class I'm doing at the weekend. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. So first of all, I've got my pale fig, and I'm just going to put some on here. Now, don't get overly concerned about the blending too much, because it will all come together by the time we've finished. Right. It's all going to look right. You should just lay the colour down first and get the colour onto the card. Now, this is watercolour cardstock, so it's always going to be a little bit paler. So you just need to work that up. Plus, some of these ink pads have certainly been used a few times.
Just a
so
few.
then I'm going to go in with the ocean blue, pick that one up, and then I'm going to come down here with that, just add in a little bit more. And again, every time you do this, it's going to come out different because you're going to, you know, different combinations.
That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, same colours, but completely different every time.
You'll never get it the same twice. Just blend that on to there. There we go. We can come on here, and let's bring that one down there. Let's come round here. Let's pick up a bit more of that red. So once you started to get there, I can see now, look, you see a perfect bit to put some of the purple in here. So once you've got that, let's see if I can really get some ink off here and add a little bit more depth to it. Now I've got the colour initially laid down, so I've sort of mapped out where I want it to go, so I can really work the colour into here. So like I say, it's watercolour cardstock, which it does take the ink a little bit longer to get the ink to, you know,
it's not as smooth, is it?
It's not smooth, and it sort of soaks it up, doesn't it? But that's fine. That is absolutely... But look at these, they're going to really work together.
It's kind of like there's been a rainstorm and it's starting to clear, and that bright sky is just opening up.
Yep.
That dark purpley is disappearing out the way. The red skies
I know what you mean. Yes, I can
through.
see it's trying to come through. But just pop those together, and it's, you know, it's quite nice. Just getting tired arms now. Nice to sort of bring in those colours, just adding them in together, and you know, you just keep going until you've got enough. But like I say, please don't worry about the blend, because we're not finished, and when you've added all the other bits in, you really won't see that. So I'm going to leave that at that point. Then because these are water reactive, one of the things I can do is, I didn't pick it up, is I can get my spritz bottle. Have I got one with water in there? Yeah. And then I can add a little bit of water. Now, when I tend to do it, there you go. I find with the spritz bottles, they're quite misty. So if I want blobs, I don't know whether you do it, I often do it onto my hand so that I get little splats. Because I find if I miss...
I puddle in my hand.
Yeah,
I spritz into my hand, and then I flick
Yeah, that's
down.
more what I've been doing on there. Now, the longer you leave that, can you see that colour starting to wick out? If you blot it straight away, you're not going to see much difference. So the longer you can leave it, you can see it starting to react. I don't want masses, I just want a little bit. So I can stop that now. There we go. Let's just blot that water off, and there you go. You can see, and straight away, we're already seeing that the blending isn't as important already. So we can pop this. Right, new heat tool, Crafter's Companion new heat tool. This isn't wet, so, but I'm just going to dry it off because I'm going to stencil over now. If it does get a bit wet, if it does sort of buckle or cockle a little bit, dry a bit on the back and that will flatten it out. There we are, right. So we've got quite a nice effect there. And then I've got my stencil, which is here. And I've just sprayed a little bit of our stick and spray on the back of there, just to make repositionable. So I'm just going to put that in the middle. If you aren't too happy with your stenciling, you can always go around with a little bit of masking tape, because then it can't overrun.
No, that's good.
So all I'm going to do now is, I will hold it down because I've only put a little bit. I've got my ink pad. Now, to me, these ink pads, so I've got a quick dry ink pad, they're a bit of a misdemeanor to me. So when I look at these, if you look at these, look at this, they're really, can you see, if I press that, can you see how juicy they are? I always think to myself, how can it be quick dry? Because when you look at these ones, these are like a fabric, a felt. These ones are more of a sponge. So you see all of the bits, and I always think to myself, how can they be so juicy but dry so quickly? But they are brilliant for using on your stencils, because
really are, aren't
they will dry nice and quick. Now, if you wanted to take time, if you've got the time, you could be going through with different colours, getting ombre effects on the, you know, you could go through with all sorts of effects. What I'm doing is I'm just using my larger dauber to lay down the majority of my colour, just for speed. And then in a minute, I'm going to get my little finger dauber and just go in with a bit of detail. But I just thought I would get the bulk of the colour laid down.
But it's good to see you doing that, because what you would usually find, of course, is using a quick dry for our sentiments, so we get that quick effect. And obviously you can use them with other stamps. And it's something we touched upon as well. I did a couple of weeks ago in Hobby Maker here in the UK. You know, some people think you can only use them for that purposes, but as you can see here, because Corinne's using it onto the stencil, it's a non-porous surface. It's going to glide. So you can absolutely still use your quick dry over things such as your stencil, do that blending element to it. So if all you've got is quick dry, you can be doing what Corinne's doing.
I think they work really well for stenciling because they don't smudge.
No.
Because when my fear is that when I finish doing all this stenciling and then I lift up my stencil, it will smudge. Whereas with a quick dry, where it doesn't dry on the stencil, but where it dries on the card, it's dry straight away. There we go. Now you can just see. So I can now lift that off.
See,
there we
look
go.
At that.
Doesn't that look lovely? And how quick and easy was that to do? So what we're going to do now is we're now going to go in with our third ink type, and I'm going to go in with my waterproof.
Okay.
So this. Now we're going. I know I keep mentioning it, but we are doing all about mixed media. So the definition of mixed media is just overlaying different mediums. So this is mixed media because we've got our water reactive, we've added some water, we've got quick dry, and now we're going to stamp over the top. Mixed media is not to be frightened about. It's nothing to be scared of. It's really good fun. So, you know, it's whatever you want it to be. So I've just put this onto some card because what I want to do is I want to stamp right to the edge of my project. So I don't want it to mark my stamping mat. There we go. So we can now start adding in different bit elements. So I've got all of these lovely stamps. Oh, I love this one. I'm going to pop this one on. Now, there is a reason I'm doing it with waterproof ink, and you'll see why in just a minute. So let's pop this one on to here.
Deborah on Facebook is saying, I've never made a background.
Haven't you?
Get your inks out, Deborah. Follow what Corinne's just been showing you.
Yes. It really isn't complicated at all.
Yeah.
And you can make it so unique to fit exactly what you want.
Definitely, yeah.
Look at this, and I'm coming right off the edge of my card. If you struggle with doing that off the edge of your card, cut your card a bit bigger. You know, do right as far as you can and then trim it down. That's another way to do that, you know, because sometimes you can find it quite hard to sort of go off the edge, you'll find. So,
and that's what I say as well. Whenever I create my backgrounds using my stamps that I love to do, one of the questions, if I've done them on any of my lives, and it is quite a few, it's many will say, oh, I find it hard to do that. And it's exactly as I say, Corinne, it's my background. If I want it to be 6 by 6, I would say, cut it to round about, you know, 7 by 7 or something that's a bit bigger. Just do a random background and then trim it to the size that you want. You're going to get that more natural look without having to fully worry and panic about making it look natural without trying to. So, yeah, go bigger and cut it down.
We're just literally coming round the edges on these. But this is just so much fun to do. So we can pop this one on here. There we go. And then what else do we want? Oh, I'm going to put this one up again, up at the top. And then I think one more of the hat and one of the bottle, and we will probably be done. So again, just popping them on. If they come off the page, then so be it. It's not a problem. Let's go in. I haven't used the bottle, so let's make sure I've got room for that. There are, look at all of these stamps that you've got. Oops, that's my lid gone. You know, you've got so much on there. Yeah.
You do.
And now, there are elements from here from Alice in Wonderland. There are elements on here from Through the Looking Glass. So it's really lovely. So, if you know your story. So this is Alice in Wonderland, and then obviously the glass, the Looking Glass is through the. So the Looking Glass is through the Looking Glass, and some of these are from Alice in Wonderland. So you've got all those different elements. Like last one, because I had a gap just there, and we can pop that into there. So once we've got to there, I thought, oh, let me just pick up the lid so I don't get myself covered. The last little bit I'm going to do, I've got 2 little bits to do to this. I'm going to then get some of my ink. I'm going to pop this one just there. Let's just get a little bit of the colours. Ooh, my pale fig is definitely, I have to shout Jake and see if we've got some more pale fig. And then all I've got is, I've got my sparkle pen. Now this is why you need to have done it with your waterproof. If you do it with your alcohol proof, it's, right, that one's dried up too. Luckily, I should have mine in here.
Spare.
Oh, I always, oh, where is mine? Because I've been using it all weekend.
Yes, it's one that we do all use quite a lot.
There
Anyway.
it is.
I know I certainly do, and they do here in the team.
There we go, right, I've got that. So then I can pick up this, because these are our water reactive, and I can just paint onto here. And because I've done it with my waterproof, now your sparkle pen is water-based. Oops, that's me just going over it a bit too far. So, you know, you need to make sure that your ink is suitable for that. So I can just pick up on there, and then look at this, just picking up that lovely little sparkle and just highlighting some of that detail. I just think it's so much fun to do. And we're still keeping with those 3 colourways just on here.
It's a good thing to do as well. Maybe give yourself, as you say, 3 colours. Give yourself 3 colours. If you're ever struggling, if you're ever, I don't know what colour to go for, I don't know, does this go with this? What to do is just eliminate that. Just pick 3 colours.
Yeah.
Do you know something? Do you know something? By the end of it, it might not work. But do you know what? Just randomly pick 3 colours. And one, it takes a lot of the elimination out of the will it, won't it, how will it work, won't it? Give it a try, see, and you might surprise yourself.
Right, you can see here, I put in too much, I picked up too much water with too much of my sparkle pen, so that was my fault that I did that. So it doesn't matter, it'll do. But there we go, I've just picked up a couple of little bits of the colour there. Oh, make it there. Really just make some of those elements just come to life, just with a little bit of the sparkle just on there. But you know, it's you can't really go wrong with it. Let me just put a little bit on here with the bottle, just to make it look like there's something in that bottle just there. There we go. And there we are. Right, I'm just going to do a little bit of intense, more red over the bow. Red on top of the red because it's a bit more intense. Yeah. And that will do. And I think that is enough. But you can just see how it's picked up those elements. And so the last little bit I'm going to do is a little bit of my gilding wax, because I'm just going to go right very gently round the edges, right here.
And this is where, if we refer back to what you started off with saying, Corrine, is look at the amount of mediums that you've mixed together.
Yeah.
And used within this one, card front.
Do you know, a few months ago, I wouldn't have done this at all. I don't know what's happened. Just recently, it seems to be what I really seem to enjoy doing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there we go. And you can't go wrong, because however it finishes is how it's supposed to look. There we go. Right, now look at that. I think that looks Now, can you see, though we didn't really blend those background colours together at all, did I? But somehow they've really, really worked. So I'll clean that up in a minute. So all I've got now is it's going to be mucky again. I've got card base. So I've just matte and layered some black and some white. Okay. And I can pop that on here. Put that on. Now, we've used such a few elements out of the box. We've used the stencil and some of the stamps. There is, you know, you could be putting on some of the papers if you wanted to. You could be adding some of the charms. It's entirely up to you. You know, you can go where you want with this, but it's just so much fun to do. We can then add this on here. So you can just see just why we put the little bit of gold around the edge. And then the last little bit I have done is using a couple of those dies. We've got the dies in the box that will then cut out the card signs. I got that the wrong way around. Just on there. Oh, a little bit more glue on that.
Do you know what I was thinking as well? Because if you really do love your, your grunge, if you love your gesso, if you love all your sprits, your inks, certainly here in the UK, I think you know our Corrine Lynette Jaspers does Pretty Gets Gritty. She does incredible things. You could do what she does, but with this collection alone, on a canvas, with your gesso, go over with your explosion powders or your paste, building them up. You've got the textures from your stencil. You'll have textures from the ribbon, the gems, your charms, all of that you could go over with your gessos, and then do your dry wash, again do your sprit, all these different things you could do.
There we go. I'm just moving that around because it nearly went over my sentiment, so I'm just going to move my club. Is that the right one? Yeah, club, it is a club, isn't it? I nearly said spade, but we'll put it there. So we can put that there. And the final little bit, we've got a couple of the gems out of the box. Let's just put those one on there. I mean, how many different mediums have we used? So,
exactly.
When people say mixed media, don't be frightened by it, because all it means is we've put lots of different mediums together.
That
and
is
all of
incredible.
And we've done all of that from scratch. That was nearly a craft along that. All of that from scratch, just adding in those different mediums.
Yeah, isn't that fab? Isn't that fab? Mixing them all together, all been done from through the looking glass, of course. And then what you could have done is with 3 different colours, going to get that same sort of layout effect if you follow Corrine, but it's going to give you a different look with your 3 different colours. It's up to you. But it has, minus the inks, of course, come from your Through the Looking Glass, $49.99 or $59.95. I'm going to have a quick run through as to what you're going to get within the collection. So this stamp, including the other stamps I'll show you, that works out to 14 stamps in total. So you do have your This Is My Dream stamp set. You've also got your 10 grams of your heart sequins. You've also then got your 100 bling gems. You've then got, this is where you've got your 8 metal charms. So you've got your 4 designs and you've got 2 of each of them. Then you've got your satin ribbons. So you've got your 9 reels in total. You've got your 3 colours and 3 of each. You've got your 1/4 inch, you've got your 1/2 inch and your 3/4 inch. Then we're going to go into our stencils here. So we've got our We're All Mad here. We've then also got our It's Always Tea Time. We've then got our Alice in Wonderland. We've then also got our sentiments and patterns. So this one has been designed for you to cherry pick sections with your stencil tape, but of course if you want to use it all, you could. Then what we've also got is our teapot template. So it makes the most cutest little teapot little boxes, little gift boxes. Then there is your additional 13 stamps there that you've got a mix of your actual icons as well as some of your sentiment phrases. We've then got our 14 metal dies. Now the little pocket watch will work with the pocket watch stamp there. All the rest of them are standalone that are going to give you that silhouette effect. They'll all go through the mini minus that little intricate frame that's just a smidge too big for it. And then we've also got our 8x8 card stock. So we've got, you can see there are 6 colours, 4 of which are your blue tones. You've got a red and you've got sandstorm. And then we've got, once again, our pattern papers. So multiple sheets of each of them. All of these are double-sided. Just like the cardstock I showed you, it is all an uncoat cardstock. So if you do want to go over with different mediums, then you can absolutely do that. You've got your more full-on design on one side, and then on the opposite side, it's more of that subtle effect. So fold backs, tea bag folding, wrap, anything along those lines, it's going to be perfect for. So all of that, and of course, within the box as well, Through the Looking Glass, that's giving you over 205 elements for $49.99 or $59.95. But if you are platinum, that's going to come down even more, and that's going to come down, well, by £10 for you guys here in the UK, $39.99, or for you guys stateside, just a little bit over that of $47.96. You're also going to get your 100 extra bonus points as well on top of that one. So it's a really nice one. Maybe you've got some Christmas money left over, maybe you've been saving it, maybe you didn't spend all the money you thought you were going to on Christmas gifts, and you've just thought, you know what, I could treat myself now. It's maybe one of those, because it's going to be one of those that you're going to use throughout the year when it comes to different occasions. We've got Anne from Twin Cities MN on YouTube is saying, I made some cards recently using the Violet Studios kits, the cross-stitch frame die and many things from my stash. Made 20 cards and then 3 special ones for friends. I will see you later this month. See, there you go, bringing in your Violet Studios with your Crafters Companion dies. They're always going to work a treat, of course. Mary Beth Doyle is saying, hi everyone from Minnesota. Been watching while cleaning up the kitchen. Hate it when chores get in the way. Adulting's just rubbish at times, isn't it, when we have to adult. You know, I'm not looking forward to doing the housework when I take the tree and all that down, which is tomorrow dependent. We've got Anne on Facebook is saying, any hints as to what's launching tomorrow? No. You've then got Astrid on Facebook is saying, either way it sounds fab, Craig. That's just mean it's maybe the light bit of change of demonstrator / presenter this week, just depending on how the sickness is going around, certainly throughout the country. You never know, by the end of the week I might be in the gallery. Who knows? You never know. We have Johnny. Johnny's back tomorrow. He's not been unwell. He's just been off for Christmas and New Year, but he's back tomorrow. We've got Liza on Facebook saying, love this collection through the looking glass. Gilmore on YouTube is saying, Happy New Year, Craig, Corrine, Susie's, CCTV team and crafty peeps. Well, hello to you. Melanie is saying, hello from Florida, Happy New Year. Astrid is saying, I'm excited about launch day tomorrow. Yeah, well, Ben and Sara, definitely Sara. Ben, maybe. We've got Peggy Sue on YouTube is saying, good day all here in Minnesota. We have another blizzard on the way this afternoon. Last sandstorm we had 9 inches of heavy wet snow. That's craft time. Oh, do you know, so it's one of those, we said it earlier on, you think, oh my God, and forgive me for saying this, that slight bit that's never experienced anything like that would be, that must be so cool to witness. But then when you actually see it on the news, what you guys stateside go through when you've got weather like that and elsewhere across the world, no, it's not fun. But yeah, definitely time for craft. And don't you just hate wet snow? You know, there's like snow and then there's like wet snow. It's like rain. Do you know what I mean? You get that rain, and then you get that wet rain. I don't mind rain, I just don't like that wet rain where you get soaked through. Don't like that rain, it's a horrible rain. So yeah, Peggy, anyone else in that area as well, stay safe, hope all goes well. Linda on Facebook saying, hello, it's so hearing all of you back. Well, I'm glad to think so. Colleen is saying hello from a sunny, warm Florida. Peggy, get yourself to Florida. I know that's where I would want to go. That's for sure. Felicity saying, hi everyone from Toledo, Ohio. And Deborah that was Deborah saying, never made a background. Well, maybe after today is going to be the day for you to create a background. Still comments to go through, however, what we want to do to show you this next item. Once we've gone over to Corrine and come back, we'll have another read through when it comes to what you are sending through to us this evening. But what we are going to have a look at, some Christmas. Now, I know Christmas is only 357 days away, at least, you know, with all of the disruptions that's going on when it comes to the mail all over the world, you can absolutely guarantee Christmas delivery for this one, that is for sure. And this is our Christmas Fancy Sentiment stamp and die collection. So this one here, you're going to be saving over 40%, and it's the best ever price as well. So for everything I'm away to show you, you are going to be £20.50 or $26.50. But for platinum, you're going to come all the way down to £16.40 or $21.20 for Believe in the Magic of Christmas. Now, you'll have seen Corrine earlier on using one of the all-occasion ones, same concept, but these are Christmas. You've then got your Believe stamp. You've got the die that matches with the stamp, so die cut it, then stamp your sentiment over the top, and then you've got the additional stamp in the Magic of Christmas. So this is how they both work together. Of course, you don't always have to use the die. You can use the stamp on its own if you want to. That's up to you, but it is the die and the stamp that work well together. You've got Believe. You've got Jingle all the way. So once again, you've got that large stamp and large die that will stamp and die cut the word jingle, and then you've got your little sentiment stamp that says all the way. You've then got Let It Snow, exactly the same concept but with the snow. However, you've got Let It Snow. We've got Merry Christmas. So the Merry is the stamp and die concept, and then you've got that Christmas at the bottom there. They are separate as well, just to say, so you know, they don't have to be one underneath the other. It could be side by side or whichever way you want. It's a nice creative play. And then you've also got your holly, jolly, everything. So that holly is your large stamp and die as well. So you've got the stamp, you've got the die that works in conjunction with each other, or you might want to eliminate the die and just use that sentiment font with the additional sentiment dies you've got with it. Or mix and match, it's entirely up to yourself. If you've got other sentiment dies, you can use them as well. It's a nice little fun collection that gives you your 15 elements. £20.50, $26.50, of course, if you are platinum, £16.40 or $21.20, all across on the website. Go across to shop the day, but don't do that just yet, because Corinne's away to show us what we can do.
Okay. I'm just going to ask our Lily to check, because I don't have that holly jolly everything.
Okay,
and I don't have samples or stamp or dies of it, and I didn't have it at home, so it should be. All right, so it's, I wonder what. Should be Believe in the Magic of Christmas, which we're going to use. Jingle All the Way.
Yep.
Let It Snow. Merry Christmas. And Happy Holidays.
So it's not holly jolly everything. We
no.
should have happy holidays.
Right, I'll show you what they look like. Now, this is what I love doing. So we've used the stamp here, and then we've created a background. Like, can you see like a watermark background on there, which I think is a lovely way to use them. We've got our Let It Snow and a nice long DL card, so you can see how they're. We've got our Happy Holidays. I just think sometimes it can just be really simple. Jingle All the Way.
I mean, look at
how
that.
lovely is that? Really simple, aren't they? Merry Christmas, making the most of some of those beautiful edges that you might have bought. I'm sure you've got them. Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas.
Oh, that's lots of Marys.
It's very, very...
That was Jamie on Hogmanay. He was very, very, very merry.
Isn't that lovely? That is die cut into the card. And then just that... That is really...
Very elegant, isn't it?
It's a gorgeously elegant card, is that? Who's done that? Deborah Clough. That's beautiful. Beautiful card, Deborah. Right, OK. So, as I said, we're going to use the Believe in the Magic of Christmas. And I want to show you a little tip when we do the use the stamp. So what we're going to do is I'm going to die cut out my Believe.
OK.
So just like we did before, but this time we're going to heat emboss it. And we're going to use the Parakeet... opaque pigment, which is in our bundle of inks that we've got today. So we've got some inks, and we thought we would use those. So there we have now, we've got the Believe. I would just, my top tip would be always die cut this first. It's a solid, die. So to line it up accurately after you have stamped would be really, really tricky. If you can do it, that's brilliant, but I think you'll probably find it quite a tricky thing to do.
I would agree with you as well.
So I'm going to do exactly as I did before. I'm going to pop a little bit of card onto here. Pop that and use the magnets to hold that down. Then I'm going to pop a little bit of tape on the back of there. Won't come to any harm, because I'm going to put foam pads on the back, so that will cover up the effect of the stickiness. And then I'm going to come with my Believe, and I'm going to line it up just there. I think that looks lined up. There we go. And then I'm going to lift that up. Oh, go on, pick up. There we go. Let me just check that hasn't moved. I think that's okay. And then we're going to go in with our Parakeet. If it's moved, I'll just cut another piece of cardstock. 2 ticks, it'll only take that. Look at how brilliantly, look at how the depth of ink on there. They're brilliant ink pads, aren't they?
They are. You can see it straight from the camera above.
Yeah. So we can pop that onto there. Now, opaque ink pads are brilliant for blending, and oh, look at that, absolutely gorgeous. And
perfect.
Also for heat embossing, which is what we're going to do now. So I've got my embossing powder on here, and then we can pop that. So basically, opaque pigment inks have larger molecules, and the larger molecules are held in a thicker suspension. So that means that they take longer to dry. So that means I can do things like that, and I can go over it with my powder. Can you see how it's sort of dulled it down a little bit? That's because the embossing powder has stuck to the ink. So the other thing I'm going to do is I have taken, now I think this might be an embossing folder you get when you buy your Gemini.
It is indeed.
There you go. So there we go. So everybody who has got their Gemini will have this embossing folder. And I've just embossed and then I've gone round with my pale fig. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to get this ink pad and I'm just going to go round the edge. Just like again, because it's opaque ink pad. We don't have to, it's not about being over neat. We're just going to add an extra layer and just bring all those colours together. Because you know, sometimes when you start, you're thinking, oh, I don't know where all those colours are going.
Yes.
But just add in that extra little bit on, there. And then I'm going to pop that onto my card and I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of embossing powder around the edges.
It's a nice way to add a formatting layer without the extra weight of your cardstock.
Exactly. Pop that, and that's, again, it's just stuck where the ink is, so we can do all the heat embossing in one go, I thought. There we are. And that's going to go just there. So let's get our heat tool out, and then I'm just going to make sure, just giving it a second to warm up.
Yes, please do not stick your hand underneath the heat tool while it's warming up.
Because we don't do that, do we, Craig?
We don't do that, do we, Corrine? No.
What do you do, Craig? Test it on your glass mat, don't you, Craig?
We test it on our glass mat, yeah. We point down onto our glass mat, Corrine, and then we touch the glass mat. We never ever put our hand underneath.
No. There we go. Right, that's warming up nicely. So, what we do on here, hopefully you can see on there, you can see, now look at that, I can chase that all the way.
Straight away.
You can see, because we've warmed up the heat tool.
By not putting your hand underneath it, Corrine.
I have to say it to him every time.
Yeah.
Every time. There we go. And that now, the shine and the slight emboss erase is gorgeous. And we can do the same with the edge around here. Look, you can see straight away that's just chasing out. And the great thing is once you've heat embossed it, it's set. You know, if you worry about your ink smudging, then get it heat embossed, because once it's heat embossed, it isn't going to smudge anywhere at all. And I just love how you've sort of, it's not like a perfect line, it almost bleeds slightly
doesn't it? Yeah.
to the emboss, just because we want it to look absolutely perfect. Just a different way to use your embossing powders, and your ink pads rather.
And it's such a lovely combination of colours as well, like kind of like that lilac tone with the blue.
Yeah, something a little bit different. And that I'm then going to pop onto some lilac card, just like that. So we can pop that on. Now this is all about, again, it's all about looking at what you've got in your collection and trying to make everything work together. So, you know, we need to have a look at what we've got, and I'm going to pop that on to there. There we go. There we are. Pop that onto there. Now, I have got some gorgeous Christmas paper, again with some lilac behind. So that is from Winter Solstice, thank you. Obviously, it's still on the website, is that one, so, you know, you've got that one there. It just gives a different look. It's quite...
Yeah. We'd done, about 3 years ago, we'd done a set of layering stamps at Christmas time. We'd done an all-occasion one, but no, we'd done Christmas ones. One of them was a bauble set. It reminds me of this.
So, right, I'm just going to put a little bit of foam on there. You could use anything, you know, any that you've got.
Of course you could, yeah, absolutely.
I just thought, bring out some of the bits that you've already bought. Oops. There we go.
And if you're going to use them for Christmas, of course, that's great. You might not have these, or you might be thinking, well, Craig, we're only in the start of January. No, I'm not thinking about that just yet. But then if you've got your little sentiment stamping dies that you've got within, you've got one with the Angel collection, you know, you had the fancy fonts from before. You can do exactly what Corrine's doing, just change the pattern paper. You don't even need to change the folder, still use that, just change the sentiment.
Yep. Right, now, so all I've done is, when I was getting this ready, I had a look and I'd prepared, I'll be truthful, I'd already prepared one of these. Okay. I think I'd done it for a demo and I'd taken it home. So I was like, right, I can use that. So now my Believe is going to go on there. So when I looked at this, in the Magic of Christmas, it didn't fit, the sizing wasn't right. Can you see how my Magic of Christmas?
Yeah, it just overlaps.
So what I'm going to do is, you don't have to use, I'm going to use it all, but I'm going to use it a little bit in a different configuration.
Okay.
So you think, how am I going to do that other than cutting my stamp in half, which obviously I don't want to do that because this one actually isn't my stamp. So that might not be a good idea to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one. So we've got the Believe, and I'm going to pop it where I want the first bit of my wording to go. So I want the In the Magic Of to go up here. So I'm going to pop that onto there. I'm going to pick that up, and then I'm going to get anything, masking tape or any tape you've got. You could even use your low tack tape. Okay. Actually, let me just grab. So what am I using? I'm using Parakeet. Let me see if I can find Parakeet in quick dry.
Now, just bear with me as to where I'm going with this one. Probably Jamie will understand where I'm going with this. Have you ever seen the film American Pie?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know when, towards the start, when they're at the choir and they're all singing, and they're starting to sing, and do you believe in magic? Oh, do you believe in magic? Every time you say believe, and I look at that, it just sounds like the girl from American Pie singing, do you believe in magic? Yeah.
Right, now, I've taken off the masking tape because obviously there's ink on there and I don't want that to stamp. So now the only bit of my stamp that's got ink on is In the Magic Of. So I can put that there.
Jamie was sweating there. He was wondering where I was going with that.
There we go. So I've now got In the Magic Of.
Oh, look at that, yeah.
So now I'm going to clean up my stamp.
Jamie, I can't say that. I don't know what you're on about when it comes to that film. Thank you very much. I was never allowed to watch it. Just that scene. Don't know how it ended.
Right, I've now positioned the Christmas where I want, so I can pick that up. And I'm going to do the reverse of what I did before. And this time I'm just going to cover up everything but Christmas. There we go. And then, so just, you know when you sometimes get your stamps and you think, that's just not going to fit. Now, the thing you have to remember is to remove that. And that's the bit I forget. The number of times I've forgotten to take that bit off. And then I can then pop my Christmas down there. And look, I've now got, in the Magic of Christmas, cut in a completely different configuration. And that will now fit perfectly onto my card. So we can take that bit just there.
It's good to show how any of your elongated sentiment stamps, you can now start to adjust them, so to speak. Without damaging them or cutting them to then fit
Could you imagine if I decided to trim it down?
Could you
that
imagine?
No, that might not have ended too well at all.
Definitely not, no. Definitely not.
Tracy would have had to have found me first, but yes. I would have been scared to...
Tracy, I would do a runner from.
Right, we'll put that and just take in a little bit more off there. There we go. Right, so all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on the back of there, pick that one up and put that, always go into the corner, so I'm eliminating as much of the trimming as I need to, and then we can then trim that one just there. Now there we go, look at that. So we now have a sentiment that fits the project instead of trying to make a project that fits a sentiment, which I think we're all not too guilty of, but we always...
Yeah, you're right.
We always sometimes struggle with, don't we?
And I think a lot of the same people have the same thoughts as Susie, who's just put, Corrine, that is, in big capital letters, brilliant, which it absolutely is.
Well, I hope it helps somebody. So then we can put Believe just there, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of... There we go. We can then put that. I know the demos have been a little bit longer tonight, but I just really wanted to show you. There you go.
Though, with us not being here for a wee while, I think everyone at home's just loving that, just spending that little bit of relaxed time, seeing how you've been making these. I mean, look at that.
So just a little bit different. There we go.
It really is. It really is different. And that's just showing you quite a few things. Yes, it's showing you the Christmas sentiment. However, what it's also showing you how you can take your elongated sentiments and then just shorten them, but by still creating that full sentiment in one. So within this set here, you have got your 15 elements. So this one here is your Christmas fancy sentiment. So you do get your Merry Christmas. So the Merry is your stamp and die that you're going to be able to use them in the way that Corrine just showed you there, but you've got Christmas as your additional stamp. You've then got your Let It Snow. Now your Let It Snow, the snow itself is in that same concept there. You've also got your Jingle All the Way. So the jingle is the stamp and the die. Then you've got all the way down at the bottom there. Remember, you don't have to use the die. You can use the stamp in conjunction with the sentiment if you want. You do also have your Believe in the magic of Christmas. So the Believe is in the stamp and the die. And you've also got your Happy Holiday. So we are missing that one, but it is your Happy is in that stamp and die. And then you've got your Holidays. That is your separate sentiment as well. So all of that one there, £20.50 or $26.50 for you guys stateside. Platinum price is £16.40 or $21.20 for, of course, you guys platinum. We have got Nancy saying, oh, I love that card. That's actually referring back to the last demonstration that Corrine done. Tessa saying mixed media is such a fun adventure. Susie was actually saying a dot of hand sanitizer will pick up the gilding wax off the glass mat. Super easy. I believe many of us are still going about with hand sanitizer at the moment. And Adriana, last but by no means least, is saying love that card. So we'll come back just shortly and have another read through of the comments, but I know Corrine's got something else that she wants to show us.
I have, right. That was a quick changeover. Whew, right, so where are we? Very quick changeover. So what we have got is I have these beautiful scalloped edges, and we're also going to use it with our shaker die as well. Oh, you can see it that way, turn it that way. So we're going to use this one. So this one is the one, I believe, that's only been available in the UK.
That one is, yeah.
There we go. So I thought we'd use that. So the first thing I'm going to do, just to show you how beautifully these cut out. So I'm going to pop. Right, we've not got that long, but that's plenty of time because I have got quite a lot of it ready.
Minutes or so?
So I'm going to cut that out of there.
Plenty
and let's see if I can. Oh no, I'm going to pop that one just there. So close. So we can pop this. Now, what you can do with this is this will create the outside die.
Okay.
And then what I need to do on here is then, whoops, I've got all of these extra little elements, and then you can pop all of the petals in here. So I can cut these out just there. We'll cut these, and I've got most of the other bits ready to go. They should all be there. There they are. And so it's really good that they don't put these in first, because that means then that you've got the option to cut the base layer out as well. You've also got one to go in the centre, but I'm not going to cut that for now. So let me just put a couple of little bits of tape on there to keep those still. Now remember, when you position these, always position them so that there's room for your foam tape to fit. So that's what you need to be, when you're putting these in, just, bear that in mind. So don't put these bits too close to the bottom, otherwise you're not going to find room for your foam tape to go. So we can cut those there. So it's always thinking about, like, the next step is how you're going to use them. And if you forget things like that, then it'll just make life a little bit harder for you when you get to the end. So again, we're going to sort of bring all the elements together for this. So we're going to bring together the frames, the shakers, and the sentiment. Yeah. Again, just to show you,
pulls all well together.
All works beautifully. Now this cardstock. Oh, Craig, which one of the bundles was this one? You had them in front of you.
So there was vintage butterflies, wasn't there? So it was vintage butterflies. Well, there was the 4 in the total, but that's the one that would have been from.
Yeah, thank you. I probably wrote it down. No, I didn't write it down at all. So I've got this piece, and I've also got that one. Now, I've also cut the pink in the next size down. Now I could put that like that, but what I thought I'd do is I'd put it diagonally because I just thought it looks really, really nice.
It's
and
fancy.
again, what I've done is I've just made up a shaker element. So these are those free ones that came with one of the bundles that we had on.
With the one that's on the screen, your Monday mega deal.
Yep.
You've got them free with that.
There you go. Yeah, those are there. So I've just popped, and I put some clear ones in there as well, so I could just put those on here. And let's just put some, I think the easiest way to do this would be to put a little bit of red liner tape onto here. Now this isn't about making a seal, so you can just put as much or as little on here as you want to. You're not, you know, I've already sealed my sequins in there. As you can see, those are nicely sealed in.
That's it, they're going nowhere.
They're not. And again, everything, because it's double acetate, so, you know, if you've got the large A4 sheets, you're going to get plenty out of there. So, you know, nothing to worry about on that. And then that is just going to go on there. I love the cream and the red. So I've then just got some papers. Again, that's what I cut that one out of. And this one, the Knitwit Homebody, there you go. And you, because that's on the show as well. So we can pop this on. So I've going to have this as a 10th-fold card, I think. That's my favourite way to put my cards. Put the first layer down.
See, I'm like you. See, I do that a lot. Is have my 10th-fold, yeah.
Yeah, they don't fall over as much.
No, but that's the key thing, isn't it? Yeah, not falling over.
We've set up too many pack shots and.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you can tell who's working shop and TV for a while.
We've had to set up pack shots and set them all up, and then the sides folds, and they've got lots of weight on the front, and you're going, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful card, but I wish it would stand up. So there we go. We're going to pop that onto there, and look at that, just showing that hint of that card looking through. So there's nothing complicated being done here at all. So it's just about layering it up. But those frames, they're going to be ones. I've got a box at the side of my desk. I don't know about you. Do you have core dies on the side of your desk?
I've got one with dies, I've got one with stamps, and it's the ones that I just use time and time again.
Yeah. That just don't need to go away in the cupboards. There's absolutely no point in them going away in the cupboard.
No, because if you do put them in, you're going back and forwards for them every time.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I think these are ones for that collection, just because frames are just so useful, aren't they? So, you know, it's what you need. So we can pop that one onto there. Oh, and then we can centre that up. And then we're going to just take this one and we're going to pop it on there. So I think I'll use a little bit of...
I was trying, when you started off with those colours, I was trying to think what reminds me of the sweets. You know the drumstick lollies?
Oh, drumstick lollies or rhubarb and custard?
Or rhubarb and custard, yeah, there's that as well. But no, I was thinking of the drumstick lollies.
There you go. So that's looking fab on there, so we can just pop that one on there. So there, you know, if you wanted to, you could just do with a sentiment on there and that would be it. Now, remember I said that die works really well because it will cut out, you don't have to use the inner bits. Now, can you see that on here? Can you see that I've cut it out of acetate?
Yeah, it's just that full outline.
So there we go. So I've already stuck one acetate onto here. Now, this is what you were saying earlier, is you can have different bits of shaker in there. Now, if I didn't put that bit in the middle and just put the shaker foam around the outside, when I shook it like that, all the bits would fall down to the bottom. By sectioning it off, it's going to stay where I want it to go.
And that's where you can have your different colours.
You've got little sequiny bits here, and I've already started to cut some out. I was going to cut some more out, but there might be enough here. We'll see where we go from here. And I've just started cutting them out, just out of bits of paper and bits of card that I've already been using. And I'm just going to pop a few bits into each one. We can go back and add a few more. Oh yeah, there's going to be plenty here because they're only little sections. But these have been perfectly sized to fit. Oh, I didn't think I was going to have enough. Look at this, I've got plenty. Actually, I've got all grey silver ones in there. I need to, that would annoy me. Right, there we go. Let's just pop that one in there. There we are, right. Let's put that one in too. Right, I think that should just about do. And then I've got a second piece of acetate. Now, I will tell you that this flower dye here isn't exactly symmetrical. So what I've done is I've lined it up and I've put a little black mark there. Can you just see that little black mark?
Oh, no, do you know something?
And I've put a little black,
seen that, yeah.
Little black mark there, so I know that that one, that's it lined up properly, because it's not a totally symmetrical dye. And the last thing you need at the, come on, I've just put my poker tool stuck. And the last thing you need is when you've got wet foam tape, is to be twisting it round, because you're going to lose your shaker elements, and you're going to do. I sometimes do it with, you know, when you have dies and stamps that line up, but they're not always easy to work out. I sometimes put a mark on the die, just with a permanent pen. Yeah. Just to show where it all lines up. Just makes it a little bit easier. So I've made sure I put the lines on something that was going to stay, and then when I put that
visual reference to.
There you go. It then fits perfectly. There we go. And that now look at this. So this has got shaker on there, and then we've got a shaker on there. So it's just like a double shaker card. So let me just work out where I'm going to pop my adhesive. I'm just going to pop it round the foam on a roll that you're using, that was actually our new foam on a roll that we launched when we launched this collection, because our last one was, well, to say it was a little bit, it was a pain in the backside, let's put it that way, our old foam on a roll. It was an absolute nuisance, whereas the team went right back to the beginning basis of your adhesive foam on a roll, and they've gone one that is thicker but it's more flexible, and you've got the backing that tears just it comes
perfectly
off so
well,
easily,
even round corners. Yeah, and that's why they were wanting to do that and launched it in conjunction with these dies.
Right, so with these stamps, these dies, you've also got some stamps. So all I've done is I've just cut out a couple of leaves, and I'm just pop them there so that you can't see through. I've also put the flower in the middle. Again, we could probably stop just there, but I want to very quickly show you how to do the sentiment.
Yeah, that would be good to see.
So we'll just do that. Right, some white card. There we go. Right, white card, and let's cut that bit. And the sentiment is...
So is this the Christmas ones you're using, Corrine?
No,
or we've got all occasion ones on the show as well.
This is this happy birthday I thought we'd use. There we go.
Perfect, yeah.
So
because we do have two options. There are two different prices. So the ones I showed you before are different to what's on your screen right now. So you look at the bottom, it's your fancy sentiment stamp and die collection. That's kind of like your all occasion with like happy birthday. To be exact, you do have happy birthday, just to say, special friends, thanks very much. That is your stamp and die. £16.50 or $21 for you guys stateside. That's today's price.
Right, okay. So we can pop that one on here and just cut that through there. Keep my mini out all the time just for things like that.
Well, I always have my mini to my mini and my midi sit at the right-hand side of me.
Do they?
Yeah. I probably use my mini just as much as I use my midi as well.
Do you?
Yeah, because I have my my junior on my left-hand side of my craft desk, and then I did have my midi on the right-hand side. Now I've got my midi and my mini, and I seem to, without thinking about it, Corrine, if I'm going for my midi or my mini, I seem to grab not the perfect one, because they both do the same job, but somewhat you might say, well, how do you know if you're going to use the mini or the midi? I just grab whichever one.
Yeah.
And it works. I don't know if it's something in my mind that I'm working on something really small, so I just grab for the mini and I take it. Or if it's maybe slightly bigger, I just automatically go for the midi. I don't know if it's just subconsciously or what.
I think we do. I think we, oops, come on. There we go. Let me just, my magnets haven't, it's a sticky die. Let me just check that hasn't moved. There we go. I think that's okay. My magnets were a little bit on the edge. Hopefully that's fit, it hasn't moved. So I'm using my fuchsia opaque pigment ink here. There we go. Now, just because, I mean, when you're using quick dry inks, they do stain your dyes quite a lot. My opaque pigment inks will clean up pretty well. They stain your hands, lovely, but they clean up off your dyes fairly well. But don't worry, your stamp, I keep saying dye, sorry, your stamp will still work just because it's slightly coloured. Can you see, look, absolutely perfect on there. There's no problem with that.
No, there's
and then
not.
all we need to do is just pop embossing powder, because I've used my opaque pigment inks. If I didn't use embossing powder, that would stay wet for quite a while, and then there's the risk that I could smudge it. Just trying to keep all that powder on that little piece of paper. There we go. So we can take that. So there we are. It was the tiniest little scrap that I could find just as I turned around. There we go. So there we are. We can pop that onto here. Whoop, move there. There is the heat tool, and then we can then just go, hopefully this will get back up to speed nice and quickly. Come on, shouldn't have gone too cold yet. I can see, there we go, it's turning. You
can actually see it just start to turn now.
Yeah. There we go.
The heat tool, incidentally, is on our website. It's not on Shop the Day, but if you go into the website, you can either type it in, heat tool, or you can just go into the categories, go into the tool section, and it will be there. Quickest way, as always, if you know the name, for instance, heat tool, type it in, it is going to come up. I think our heat mould foam is still within there as well, but have a look. But yeah, our heat tool is across on our website, so check that one out.
I know I keep mentioning it because I've been getting ready for it, but it will be out lots at the weekend, because we're using the foam, and then we're going to be using, and I've got one where I'm going to, what do you call it? Quadruple heat emboss something.
Nice.
Quadruple, and it's going to look absolutely amazing, just to show you all the different things that you can do. I mean, I just love, I think that's with my, what do you call it, it's the shimmer ink pads. There we go. How about, like that, a double shaker card. Again, also, let's just move that up a little bit, there we go, with the sentiments as well.
Perfect. What a great way to show the 3 main collections that we've had on Monday Makers, and we're kind of highlighted throughout the day today, being used within that card, that one card way. It's such a cool way to see that. Right, we are going to do demo of the show just in a second before we do demo of the day. However, let's have a recap. We didn't actually look at these before we went back to Corrine, because she was having a look at the sentiments. But this is our Monday mega deal. This is our shaker card die collection with the accessories, 66 dies, and you're also going to get cardstock and more. We'll show you what that more is. What we have got on that today's price of £35 or $50, it says half price. It's just a little bit better than 50% off when it comes to the actual shaker dies. These ones here is, as I say, just over 50% off. That is giving you your Cheers to You, which is your little jar. You've then got your perfume, so it's giving you your aperture die element to create that shaker, as well as the embellishment dies and the stamps with the sentiments. You've got Hello Beautiful. That is giving you your shaker element of your butterfly. So just like Corrine done a moment ago with the flowers, you can separate the petals and have 2 different shaker elements in each one. It's up to you, but you've got that choice. You've also got some sentiments and a banner as well. And then also Born to Bloom. Now this one here you can only get here in the UK. So you may have already got it previously here in the UK via Hobby Maker. Anyone else outside the UK, you can only get this via us on Crafters TV, and that one is Born to Bloom, and that's the one Corrine was using just a moment ago. So you can section off your different little petals if you want to, but then what you've also got as well, you've also got your embellishment dies and stamps. You can do your own shaker if you want to, but that's not it. Although you may think that for that price, you've got your full pack of your printable acetate. Now within this one here, it's got a slight texture. If you're not going to use it to print onto what Leanne would highly recommend, and that is colour onto it with your alcohol markers. We've then also got our 10-pack of Solar Gold. So that one there is a Centura Pearl, and it's 300 GSM, 310 to be precise. You've then got your 10 metres of your 6mm in with red liner tape. So that's what Corrine's been using throughout today. That's included. And then you've also got, and it is completely free, is your Coral Blush. This one is your 50-gram pack of your shaker sequin. So all of that just over 50% off, which is £35 or $50. If you are platinum, of course, that comes down to £28 or $40 for you guys stateside. If you are across Central Europe, you just need to go across onto your website. Right, we'll have a look at the comments just in a moment, but let's have a look at demo of the show.
Right, I think we've got 4 different cards, very different cards. So the first one was our shaker card using the frames and the sentiment, but using the little glass jar. So I thought that one quite sweet there. The second one is with Alice Through the Looking Glass.
Okay.
I think that one's, you know, showing you a completely different way. The third one was just to show you the Christmas ones and how you can change your stamps around to make it fit your project. And then the fourth one was a double shaker using the frame and the flowers. So, be interested to see which one everybody likes best.
You've literally got a couple of minutes, if that, where Susie will tally the votes, let us know, and we can dive straight into demo of the day. We're going to have a look at another thing just in a moment, but what I will do is as soon as that result comes in, we're going to stop and then we're going to go into demo of the day. We've got Gilmore's actually saying, which you're right, Gilmore, we're talking about at the start of the show, the parakeet colour does actually match my top. On screen it is looking a bit more blue than it actually is, but it does match the parakeet as well. Or as Jamie says, it matches the little box that comes round that way. When I come in the box, it matches, which I never intend to do it. It just so happens that it's always a really good match. We've got Miriam saying such a pretty card. We've got Kate is just putting roar, as in singing, of course, when it comes to foam on a roll. Adriana is saying great card. Dieta saying beautiful card, Corrine. Linda is saying the same. Stephanie Theodos on Facebook saying the same. We've got Alicia saying, hi Craig and Corrine, I'm sending you the craft along pictures from this morning. I was so nervous, but it was fun. If we don't manage to have a look at that within this show, what we'll do is we'll pass that info on to the guys for tomorrow and see if we can bring them up throughout the day. Jeffrey, no date as of yet about the last 3 lives for my advent calendar. I'll let you know on my Facebook as soon as I know when I'm going to do them. Rosalind, where did the time go? I know, where did the time go? It is absolutely flown in. It's been a busy day as well. Michelle is saying, I like Corrine's way of making a shaker card, making the shaker elements on its own seem so much easier. Absolutely does. Right, stop. Demo of the show. It is, of course, we did have a look there at the 4 choices. Corrine goes straight to number 4.
Number 4, oh, the last one. There we go. Right,
4.
I shall bring it over to you.
You do
here.
that.
Right, I've gone.
We've all disappeared. We've all gone.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Right, so now we are going to be having a look at demo of the show. So we've got 3 options, 3 shows, and just 1 person, all from Corrine. So we've got from Wake Up Call, which is Through the Looking Glass. This is number 1. So we are going to come in so you can have another look. If maybe you didn't quite see Wake Up Call earlier on, within this one here, it is, of course, your number 1. You've then got number 1 here. So then you've then got number 2. So then this one here was from the craft along that we can see here. And then number 3 is what Corrine's just done a moment ago. There you can see here. You've got number 3, you've got that shaker one. So you've got your 3 options, 1, 2 or 3. The choice is yours. Zooming out just fine there for 1, 2 or 3. So you have got literally a minute or so for Susie. Send us in the results. Right, let's have a look at this cardstock that Corrine's been using throughout, not only this show, but throughout the day. This is our A4 Luxury pearlescent cardstock. Now, it's working out that you're buying 3 and you're getting 1 for free. On today's price, you're going to be saving 25%, which comes to $44.97 or $59.85. In total, you are going to be getting 92 sheets. You have got 24 sheets from your vintage butterflies. You've got your 4 colours and you've got the 6 of each. These are a beautiful pearl cardstock. We've then also got our knitwit. Now, once again, 24 sheets. You've got your 4 colours and you've got your 6 of each. Also a lovely pearl colour too. Then we're going to have a mix of our vintage snowman. So when it comes to our vintage snowman, you've got 6 colours, you've got 4 of each as well. 24 sheets in total. You've got a mix of shedless glitter card and some of your pearl. And then last but by no means least, this one here is 20 sheets. So it's 20 sheets and it is your 10 sheets of pearlescent and you've got 10 sheets of your shedless glitter card. So all of that is coming up to the 92 sheets in total. $44.97 or $59.85. If you are platinum, it is going to come down even more to £35.96 or $47.88 for a range of colour cards that you're going to be able to use throughout the year. Okay, you've got, what's that, 2 of them that have come from a Christmas collection, but if you look at your Frosty and Bright, nothing there says Christmas, you know, unless you went with the Frosty and Bright main collection. So lovely colours all the way throughout. As we say, 92 sheets in total. You are going to be saving 25% on that today's price, but it does come down even more to £35.98 or $47.88. You're going to work well with some of your shaker elements. Corrine was showing you, and maybe you're going to go through the looking glass. It's entirely up to yourself. It's a nice little stash builder for you to have within, well, your crafty stash. Rightio, we have got a result, and it is, of course, now I really should have shown you what was inside of the box. However, it doesn't really matter because it's one. It is, of course, demo of the day. Goes to your exploding box that Corrine made earlier on. So that is going to go up on our shelf, and that's going to come out on Sunday, where we'll have a look at demo of the week. So we've still got a full week to go of demos, so we're going to be mixing it up throughout the week, of course, depending on who's in. Of course, as we were talking about earlier on. We've had such a fab day, so many amazing comments seeing what Corrine has been making throughout the day. I've had a blast, Corrine. It was good to end the year with you, but it was also good to start the year as well.
It's been a lot of fun, and thank you. I've really enjoyed it. Yes,
me too.
It's been really, really good.
When are you back in?
Saturday.
Saturday, perfect.
With Debbie Fisher.
You and Debbie Fisher.
Me and Debbie Fisher.
That's going to be lovely. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
Main thing is, start of the new year 2023. Thank you for such a fun and interactive day on the social. Thank you to Rachel and, of course, to Susie. They're going to be back all over again throughout the week. We've had Jamie in the gallery with Lily. We've also had Sam. We've also had Liam. We've also had John as well, just helping out as the team's been helping to cover any little sicknesses going about. We've also had Jake running back and forwards, getting ready for the week as well. So a big thank you to him. I will be back tomorrow, irrelevant of what goes on. If it all goes to plan, I'll be back here tomorrow with Ben for launch party. If Ben is still feeling a little bit under the weather, then you'll have me first thing. You will have Sara, however, so whatever happens, Sara will be here throughout tomorrow, and it'll be either myself or Ben. Have a lovely rest of the day. Have a lovely evening. We'll see you tomorrow for day 2 of Crafters TV in 2023. We'll see you then. Bye.